So have you ever spent hours and hours of your time doing your cold outreach, doing your cold calls, your cold email, trying to get appointments together, and then you get your first few appointments and it takes you a bit of time to sign your first client, but you sign your clients and then after a while you notice that this client isn't going to stick around for as long as you might have hoped for? Or, and this has happened to me, is you sign a client, it goes really well, the sales call was great, they tell you that they're really excited, and then the next day the client emails you and tells you that they're not going ahead anymore and they want a refund on the money they've paid. And this happens to a lot of agency owners, not just people that are starting out, but also people who've been in the game for a while. And it's because they don't have a system in place to make sure that this doesn't happen. And I have a system in place that actually helps to combat this. And we help to keep our clients on board for quite a long time. And lots of our clients pay us quite a lot of money because the service that we have is so good. And in this video, I'm going to quickly break down the process that we have. First of all, it covers the onboarding of the clients. And then it also covers basically how our service implements into this and the two work together. So if you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Ben Lister. I help agency owners to save thousands and thousands of hours by helping them with their outreach so that they can start to work on the agency rather than working in the agency. So the first point is, why even focus on this in the first place? There's a theory that you can just sign as many clients as you want, just keep that wheel turning, clients in, clients out, just keep it going and sign, 10, 20 clients in a month, have a great sales team. And that's a valid argument, right? But in my experience, I've found that if you increase the LTV, the lifetime value of a client, which is the total money that the client actually pays you across their lifetime, if you can increase that, you don't need to have this wheel turning where you're constantly signing clients, every 24 hours. You can just rely on the clients that you currently have and the ones that you are currently signing, and you don't have to increase it. And so it's much, much cheaper to actually increase the amount of money that the clients are paying you, not by raising your services, by making them stay longer and just over time, than it is to actually go and chase new clients, launch paid ads, pay someone to do your outreach for you or something like that. Because if you're able to actually keep these clients on board for longer, the costs of your outreach is staying the same. The cost of your sales and your marketing is staying completely the same, but the revenue you're generating from that is increasing. It also means you have more chance of actually getting a referral from your current clients. It means that you have more chance of them giving you a testimonial. And it also means that there's less chance of the clients backing out at an early stage, during the onboarding period. And one thing that I've learned while I've been running my agency is that even though a sale might have closed, it doesn't necessarily mean that that sale has stopped, that that's it now. There's no more selling to be done. The sales process still continues after the client has paid you, after they are onboarded, or even during the onboarding phase, and even during the service. It's almost like you need to keep reminding the clients why they have paid you and why they should pay you in the future. And if they ever change this mind on their decision, then you're more liable to drop out, you're more liable to not getting referrals, and you're more likely for them to back out before the process has even begun. And so what's important to know about this is the first 24 hours from when someone officially starts and someone, initially pays you after the sales call, those 24 hours are the most crucial to making sure that people stay around the longest. And now I don't really know the science behind this of why, the psychology behind it of why this is, but to put it simply, as soon as someone comes on board, there's 99% of the time, there's going to be some kind of hesitancy from the client. There was at least one objection, something where they weren't 100% sure, but they've put their faith in you and they've paid you. And so now, as soon as they've paid you, every second that goes by without you proving to them that this is the right decision, doubt is going to creep into their mind, and they are going to slowly start to, think maybe this isn't the right thing for me. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe it would cost too much money. All of these doubts that clients can have, they're going to start to seep in. But if you approach this in a very proactive way, then you can help to avoid this. So the first thing you want to do is, if you tell the client that you're going to do something, you're going to send them an email, you're going to start some kind of onboarding process, you're going to, send them a video on for them to give you access to the Facebook Business Manager, for example. Whatever you tell them, you need to make sure that you do it, and it needs to be done in a timely manner. So don't just say, I'm going to send you an email before the end of the day. I'm going to send you an email some point today, or, by the end of the week, anything like that. You're going to receive an email within the next hour. You're going to receive an email as soon as we drop off this call. And it's going to have instructions for this, this, and this, and this. When you say that, obviously make sure that you do it, keep your word. And this is really how you build trust of the client. And so we want these small wins again and again. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to tell you this is what I'm going to do. And then I'm actually going to do it. And the more of these you can do in a 24-hour period, the first 24 hours, the more trust the client is going to have with you. And so in my opinion, clients should actually know where they are in the whole onboarding process at every stage. So there should never be a moment where they don't know what's going on. Maybe they're in a bit of limbo between different meetings that they might have booked or something like that. They need to know, for example, okay, I'm at stage 3. We've already done these first 2. The next thing is we're going to do this. The next thing is he's going to send me an email. The next thing is I have to give them access to the business manager. Whatever it is the next step, they have to see that. And we like to actually give some kind of visual representation. So, a roadmap or just some kind of step-by-step process. This is where you are in the process. This is where we need to be. If you are emailing your clients or they're even emailing you, which is a complete red flag and it's basically a sign that it's going completely downhill. But if there's any sort of communication where they are asking, what's next, where am I going with this, then you're running into an issue, because either they are looking for something to do because they are nervous or they're not sure about things, or maybe they're thinking that they should be doing something when they shouldn't, anything like that, or you just haven't given them enough instructions and they just genuinely don't know. Both of those are red flags and basically mean that the chance that a client is going to back out from this or not be engaged, or they're not going to renew for about the whole of the contract as they should, is much, much higher than if they're not asking these questions and they know exactly where they are in the process. And so the way that you know that these clients or the clients that you have are either on a losing trajectory or they're on a winning trajectory, meaning that they obviously are going to stay with you or they're not going to stay with you, primarily comes down to who is pushing the communication, at least in my experience, right? If the client is the one that's pushing the communication, if they are double emailing you, sending multiple messages at a time, if they're the ones that are initially asking questions, then it's almost, the deal is almost lost at that point. Even though there's been an agreement in place, maybe even a payment has been exchanged, the deal is basically lost at that point. You have a lot of work to actually get that back. If you're still in that initial 24 hours, I think there's a lot you can do. But ultimately, if they start asking questions and you haven't even started yet, you can probably expect some kind of pushback when it comes to actually completing the rest of the onboarding and doing the things that you wanted to do, like upsell them or put them on a longer term referral or put them on a longer term contract or anything like that. And the way this ties into the whole service that you might have is people don't really see the difference between the onboarding stage and the service delivery phase, right? The results of the service delivery, of course, are important, right? But what's also just as important is how competent that you are of actually delivering and making sure that you keep your promise. And so it's a very, very weird thing, but a lot of agencies actually get better results but have a worse onboarding process, and that means that they keep their clients for a short amount of time than an agency who's got a really bad service or just an okay service, but their onboarding and their communication is fantastic. And so clients don't really know the difference. Okay, so if let's just say you're running Facebook ads for the clients, right, and you have this onboarding period that takes 7 days. This is where we go through different things. We have an onboarding call, we link the business manager, we show them this is the ads that we're going to run, all that kind of stuff. And then the moment that you go live, the client doesn't really know any difference. Of course, they're going to start generating leads at this point and they can expect some kind of physical results. Maybe the client has a task to do at this point, but for them, your work started when the call was first closed and obviously after the sales call, and it's going to end at the end of the contract. These two periods of onboarding and service delivery only really exist to the agency. And so if you have a good onboarding process and you have an onboarding process that is efficient, that's going to easily fall into your service delivery. And the client is going to see it as all one big thing. So basically how you deliver your service. And, if you are setting up onboarding calls before the sales call is even finished, if you are making sure that there's always a person assigned to your client and there's never a part where they're in limbo and they know exactly where they are in the process, this is all service for the client. And so in many ways, onboarding is service delivery, and it is, it technically is, but a lot of agencies do see it as like a separate thing. So this is the onboarding process that we have and this is the service delivery, but in actual fact it is all the same thing. And if you can nail the onboarding, then you're also nailing part of your service delivery, and that is of course how you keep clients for an awful long time. And so if you implement this into your business and you have a system that works and follows most of the steps that I've just gone through there, then your lifetime value is going to be sky high, your churn rate is going to be super low, and you won't need to sign 10 clients every single month just to make 10k a month. But if you are looking for more clients, then go ahead and click the first link in the description. We're not asking for your email or your phone number. You're not going to send you to some crazy wild goose chase following through different funnels and links. It's literally just a video of me explaining how we do this. But if you did enjoy the video, go ahead and click the like button and comment if you want me to cover anything specifically below, and subscribe if you want to see more. Appreciate you watching this one to the end. Cheers.